This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Good afternoon, degenerates. I am the Doc, John Macaroon. Thank you so much for downloading the latest edition of Wanna Bet. Here at the Detroit Sports Podcast Network, we got to gamble it up. We always love to put a little bit of action responsibly on the games that are taking place. I only made one bet, and I'll share how I made it. It was really interesting. It was a baseball bet, simple money line, and I'll share it. But Phil, unfortunately, he caught what most people will call the bad end of a bad beat in that he tried to execute a 9-team parlay, and it almost got there. $5 would have yielded what, 900? And
935.
935. Yeah, you see how emphatically he said that? 935. So he didn't get it. What happened? Where did you piece this together? I'm very curious.
Well, DraftKings had a bonus. They've got a longest odds parlay, like sort of boost. It's not a boost. It's like a little tournament or something. So basically, you have to bet minimum of $5. And whoever lands the longest odds parlay when the contest is complete by Monday the 17th, which is my birthday, would win $50,000. Okay, so yesterday I took a little, like, about an hour, and I tried to put some pieces together of some things. And it's crazy because I didn't do just one sport. I literally jumped between baseball and basketball, and I mixed in a little bit of everything. So I seen that Paul Goldschmidt had been hitting pretty good. So I took him on Thursday to get a hit, and he covered. I took the White Sox on the money line to cover him. They covered. And then I started looking at in basketball because I tried to look at the player props, and I tried to get bets right around the minus 105 to 120s. I didn't want to go any bigger than that because I wanted to make sure that it was close to even money, which means it was somewhat of a gamble, but I didn't want to go minus 350 where I could have picked Vujicic to have a double-double. For Chicago, but it would have been minus 350, so it wouldn't have done anything from building the odds up. So I took Kobe White for Chicago to hit over 2.5 threes. That covered. I took the Denver Nuggets on the money line, covered. I took the Clippers minus 2.5 in the first quarter against Charlotte because the Clippers have been playing pretty good, so that hit. I took the Knicks minus 1.5 in the first quarter against the Spurs. That one was a little scary, but they covered by half a point. So it came down to DeLon Wright, former Piston, and Yusuf Nurkic from Portland. DeLon Wright needed over 1.5 3-pointers. And he only got one.
Oh, one 3-pointer away.
Yep. Nurkic covered. I took him under 11.5 rebounds because they were playing Phoenix, and they got DeAndre Ayton and Kaminsky down, the big guy. So I didn't think that was going to be too easy for him to get 12 boards. But yeah, literally everything covered. The real kicker is, I'm sort of a Braves guy from 20, 30 years ago, and I little by little been keeping an eye on them, and I know Acuna's a stud. And I looked at him that was the first line that I looked at, and he hit. I was I could take him to hit a homer, but it's plus 400. First at bat, bye.
Oh my gosh.
Like I said, the odds were 18,000 plus 18,630. So if I would have hit, it would have been worth 935. Dude, it was a sweat till the very end. I mean, if I would have just taken the eight legs without DeLon Wright, that's the thing that sucks is I couldn't normally you can take some insurance, I mean, it wouldn't help for the longest odds, but I'll be honest, dude. If I was looking at like 400, like, because I would have been getting like minus the Nurkic, I would have had 7 legs covered, not including DeLon Wright. So I would have at least gotten like 350 or something had I just been betting money lines and like plus minus in the spreads and stuff.
Man, that close to a nice score. So where does that leave you? You're just so frustrated. Like, it's tough. It's a long shot. Why didn't you try just as you were seeing it go down? You're seeing that it's good. Maybe put a little bit on the money line. Why didn't you just? You're not allowed to, or why didn't you just sprinkle a little bit of bets on the stuff that you were betting in terms of the games?
Well, because here's the thing. Like, if I start doing that, like, that's what, now, fortunately, everything worked out the right way, but I've also been on the end where I've had 4-leg parlays that look good on paper and I got smacked. So, like, I ended up making a bet because they're literally giving out live bet boost on MLB like every day. So I took the Mariners plus 2.5 against, I'd have to look at who they're playing, but they were getting 2.5 because they were down 2-0, and then they ended up covering by a half. So I made a little bit of money on the day because I only bet 20 on it. But like, here's the thing, dude. If I bet $20 on it, all those legs, like, now that would have been super awesome. It would have been like really sweet. But if I also bet $20 on it and none of them, like, I would have got my pills beaten yesterday. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So I understand. It's one of those deals where if you're going to roll with it, 9-leg parlay, you can't really expect 9 different situations to hit. That's why you do 10 of them with the likes of hitting 1.
Yeah.
So you got to just keep at it. Maybe shrink the size a little bit and try to go in between that 7 or 8. I think 7 would have got you 600, right?
Yeah. I would have probably got about like 4 and some change for that. But no, I'll be completely honest. It was just purely a gamble. I tried to do a little bit of research just because of the $50,000 up top. That was all. That's the only reason I went as far as I did. I could have tried to stretch it to 12 items just to make the odds like ridiculously long, but I figured that 9 legs, like 18,000, that long, like, I'll take a look at the leaderboard just to see where I'm at, but 18,000 would have been pretty long odds. So I would have figured I might have been in the, I might have been up there. Now I'm going to take a look and see where what's leading that contest right now. But I would have been pretty happy with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you would have loved to have a nice little score there, feel good instead of feeling dejected off of one more 3-pointer. Man, you're sitting there going, DeLon Wright. All you got to do is hit 2 3-pointers. That's probably the toughest one. Maybe the one I would not have maybe put the money on. But, hey, it stinks they didn't give you the cash out option after because with all the money line bets, you can cash out after 4 or 5. You would have took home a couple $100.
Oh yeah, easily. Well, you know what the thing is that right over the last I just took a real quick look at his like sample size. Like over the last 10 games, he's had 2 or more like every game.
Oh, you're the jinx.
Yeah, so it's like, well, no, that's the thing now. Unfortunately, here's the thing. Like, I guess I could have reverted back to my statistical background there and been like, well, regression to the mean's coming, so he's bound to hit 1 sooner or later. And I could have used it there, but I mean, they were playing Memphis, and Memphis is okay. They're not great, so I figured the scoring pace would have been a little up. The thing is that everybody else on his team had 4 threes, and he had like 9 assists.
Wow. One of those nights, it's just unlucky. It is really, it's a bad beat of bad beats. Cost you $900. Overall, was that the most action you put down for the week was Thursday?
Yeah, like I said, I've been doing little bets here and there. Like I said, just especially after what occurred, how everything went a couple weeks ago. So I'm trying to claw back. I'm back up to. I was down to 0. I'm up to 500. Now I'm back at 115 right now. So it's a problem, man. Sometimes, like, if you get rolling in these spots, like I said, there was a week where I whacked them and like I couldn't miss, and then the next week is like I literally could not hit anything to save my life. So you gotta sort of roll. You gotta roll with it. Try and weather the storm the best you can.
Yeah, and I think slow down when you have a winning week, like I've been doing, just making 1 or 2 bets a week. And so I follow Vegas Dave. I don't know if you've heard of him. Dude is crazy, and it's unbelievable. I first came to know him through the Showtime documentary where he talks about sports handicapping. It's one of those situations, and he wants to be just simply be known as the world's best handicapper. He charges $1,000 a pick, and he's on Instagram, and he's every day, I'm the GOAT. He basically loses once a week, and then he just goes on like these long, insane winning streaks, and everybody, he'll post just how many people paid the $1,000 for the pick, and there are days he's making $200,000-$300,000 in a day, and the guy's crazy. So you follow him. So I follow him, and he does these fun videos where he's like, look at all the haters, look at all these bets, and he just shows himself cashing out big bets. He's like, I'm the only person in Vegas that can't legally make a bet, so I'm consulting. So, I would never pay for a bet, but one time this week, he's like, he sends out an Instagram post, hey, give me your email address, and I'll send everybody a free play. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? Let's see what happens. So, of course, you give him the email address, and now he's sending you 15 emails a day. $5.99 play, $99 play, whale plays, big play. It's like, oh, my God. But they're fun to look at. But one came through, and it said free play. So I looked at it. It was a Tuesday, and the Dodgers were playing at home, and they were playing and facing off against the Seattle Mariners. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, they're both kind of middle of the road team, like 18-17 kind of situations. But I like the matchup in terms of the pitching. So his free play was bet. He put units down. Bet 100 units or 5% of your bankroll on the Dodgers money line. So I look at it and I go, you know what? If I would have bet my bankroll, I would have won a couple $100. But I didn't want to go all in, so I made a simple $15 bet, got me back 22, and went to bed, and the Dodgers won. I'm like, oh, and then he used that as part of his parlay and stuff like that. So thank you, Vegas Dave, for the free bet. You hooked me up with $10 or so, and you upped the bankroll. So I'm still very slowly increasing the bankroll, up 150 total. Small bets, 1 or 2 bets a week, listening to all the free advice that I get from Phil or from those out there. It was actually fun to put just a little mini baseball bet. I don't know how you would be crazy enough to bet Dodgers minus 1.5 runs. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, how do you know that? How are you going to bet? How are you going to bet a 6-4 game? Absolutely not. I like money line bets. Just who's going to win the game. Keep it nice and simple. And you don't get as much money betting money line and betting favorites, but hey, it was a good minus 200 or so, minus one. I think it was minus 175. But hell, it was a bet, free bet. Thank you for the play. I made it and I won $10.
That's the thing though, like playing the money line, like now it all depends on like the spots and whatnot. So here, like, I don't know, let's take a look. So like the Yankees tonight, they got Kluber going against the Orioles. Like they're minus 1.5. The Orioles, let's see, the Orioles record. I'm actually taking a look right now. God forbid. Can I get the stats just once?
You got to up the internet, baby. Put some of that money that you win. Take $100 out and speed up the internet. MLB standings. I can do it for you, baby. MLB. I got the fast internet right here. Orioles are 16-21.
16-21.
Yeah.
So in the Yankees are 20-17 after that atrocious start. Now, granted, they're on the road, but I mean, minus 1.5, and it's not. And Kluber's a pretty good pitcher. So I mean, here's the thing: if you take them minus 1.5, you're saving almost a full. You're saving 3/4 of a unit by betting them 1.5 instead of taking them on the money line. They're minus 115, minus 1.5 instead of minus 182 on the money line. You know what I mean? Like, so with your bet, like how. When the Dodgers won, what did they win by? Did they win by 2 or more?
Yeah, it was 6-4 game.
Okay, so if you would bet that, and see, that's the thing that I'm trying to do. I'm waiting for spots in game live where once they start getting like 2.5, like take a look at the game flow, and then bet them and use the in-game boost to get the money up even further. Because if I'm getting plus money as it is, and then I increase the odds, like if I hit, like I'm basically, I could double or triple my money on just one bet.
Nice. So you're looking at baseball a little bit, NBA. You said the NBA playoffs are still very wild. Is it still something where you look at it and you say, I can't touch that? Baseball is the safest play right now. Hockey, the overs, I think, are hitting a lot. You see a lot of 6-goal games.
Oh, yeah. The hockey, I mean, except for, like, there's a couple teams that, play pretty good defense, or, like, they can't score. Like, the Dallas Stars, you can keep an eye on them. I don't think too many of their games have gone over. But for the most part, like, hockey, yeah, it's pretty easy to, like, to go ahead and bet the to bet the over. Now, like with the NBA has been sort of like we said, it's been up and down. Like now, Washington's playing Cleveland tonight, and they're giving up here's the thing: there's only a couple games left in the regular season. Winning these games is not going to like improve anybody's chances. So like it's not the best idea to be like for them to be going out to try to win, but. Like Washington -8, I would take a look at that as long as Beal's in the starting lineup, because I know he'd been out the last couple of games. They should cover that one easy.
What are your early thoughts on Detroit plus 8.5 at home against Denver?
Minnesota gave Denver a little bit of a tough time yesterday, and he said Detroit's been like scary, like. In a spot like this, especially with Denver coming off they're on the second night of a back-to-back. This should be a spot where I would think that Detroit like keeps this game close and competitive, and covering the 8.5 is something that they could do.
Okay, so now like everybody else, it was Wednesday night. I was glued to the TV. I didn't know how fast they put out Week 1 odds in the National Football League. They don't mess around. They're like, all right, we know the schedule comes out. Let's make some odds. And it was shocking because someone had asked me online at our Twitter page at Detroit Podcast, it's a home game. Do you think first game that the Lions would be favored? I thought, okay, my initial thought was, and I posted it before the odds were posted, I said it's probably going to be even in that it's a home game for the Lions. You figure Jimmy Garoppolo, they lost their defensive coordinator, ton of injuries last year. There's not going to be a lot of confidence. But right away, I was wrong. So I said it could be. I said it could open at Lions -3, but I figure it's going to be around even. And then it comes out Lions +7. I was like, shit, that's the ultimate disrespect. Opening game, National Football League. You're playing the 49ers. You're a 7-point dog. But then people started talking and debating, and it could get out of hand pretty quick because everybody's expecting 3 to 4 wins out of the Lions. But if the Lions can compete, put together a 53-man roster, home game at Ford Field, first game with Dan Campbell, you don't think they show out? And at least if they lose by a touchdown? I thought opening, if you could get Lions +7, what are your thoughts on putting a little bit on a future bet there and just thinking that the Lions could keep it close week 1?
Nope. No chance.
You think that? Did you think they get blown out? Hey, it's early blowouts?
Did you see the first 3 weeks of that schedule? They are going to be 0-3, no doubt. In San Francisco's their easiest game.
Yeah.
They go on the road Monday night to Green Bay, and then they got to come home and play my Ravens. Shit, if they don't have a point differential of minus more than 30, I'd be amazed.
See,
I am not even shitting you, dude. Hey, the offensive line, what they did is great. Hey, the running game is coming along. What do they have to help Jared Goff get the ball downfield, dude? Terrell Williams can stretch the field. I'm super cool with that. Hey, Hockenstein this should be the year where he makes the leap, especially the way Jared Goff liked to utilize Gerald Everett and what's the other tight end's name that I can't think of? So Hockenstein should have a really good year. Or I'm sorry, Hockenson.
Yep.
Okay. But who do they have as a possession receiver, dude? You know what I mean? Like,
could it be Amon-Ra St. Brown, the rookie? Just give him in the slot, give him a little bit of action. And you say also, too, you use Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, and you run the football a little bit more, and you say you open up the play action and you give the ball to the tight end, and maybe you get a little bit of love or something left from the backup tight end, Darren Fells. I know he's 35. Maybe you get him a little bit of love. I know it's not looking good for the offense. Especially the defense is terrible, but if you can just establish the run, slow the game down a little bit, and that offensive line, if Penei Sewell comes back from COVID and is just the monster that everyone thinks he is, you get 3-4 yards a rush, you now open up the monster that is DeAndre Swift, and it doesn't look as bad. You got to remember, football, even as bad as the Lions were last year, they were in games. They just fell apart late. If you improve 5%, and you have a couple leads. I have it where obviously they start 0-2, but I have them winning against Baltimore because of the offense. I think the offense will surprise people early in the season, and maybe Baltimore can't keep up offensively. We'll see, but the odds of them going 0-3 are pretty high. It's pretty bad, huh? It's going to be. I actually made a lot of people laugh because I put 10-7, but I said it's going to be a 5-5 start, and then if you look at weeks 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, you put together a streak there. You could get 3, 4, 5 wins there. It's not world beaters, Bears, Vikings, Cardinals, but it could also go real bad and go 3-14. So it's fun. It's fun to do it early. Like I said, I was just looking at that number. I just early on, and like I said, probably because I'm so close to it, and I have more hope in terms of watching close games. 7 points at home, getting it, I think is great. But yeah, it could go easily where. Like I said, the most nerve-wracking possession might be the coin toss, where if San Francisco gets it, boom, they get the opening touchdown. Little mistake by the Lions. They could be down 14-0 at the drop of a hat, and then everyone's going to be all excited because everyone's like, oh, dude, that's the easiest bet ever. Everyone so far, I think, is pushing the line up. I think it might have even inched up to 7.5.
It very well could. Here's the thing. If San Francisco gets Jimmy Garoppolo to just be somewhat what he was a couple years ago, Kittle could stay healthy. They have a plethora of running backs. The defense has improved. Like, it could be a really, really long day to start to see. Like you said, I don't even think that's their toughest game. I'd be really interested to see what the odds are for the rest after week one. Like, now granted, Green Bay's in a world of hurt if Rodgers doesn't come back. Like, so that could make that line a little more interesting. Like, but like you said, man, San Francisco was, and they weren't. I mean, until all those injuries hit, they were still in the hunt in their division. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't think 7's all that unreasonable right now.
Okay, that's a good start to the National Football League, man. They do a good job. They spread out the little leagues like little by little. You get the week 1 action, and you get all the great stuff going on. And now this year with the betting in Michigan, oh my God, it's going to be a great opportunity for everybody. Hell, it might be the first safe play that we can make in early May. We could say, hey, mid-May, just bet the 49ers money line. They're good to go. And hell, if you go and you bet against the Lions every week, they're probably only going to get 4 or 5 wins. You're going to probably have a winning season. That's a fair assessment there that they're going to finish probably again in the basement of the NFC North. It's going to stink, but I think everyone's happy because they're seeing a lot more of accessibility from Dan Campbell. They like his personality. They like the draft picks, but unfortunately, it's like bad luck. Penei Sewell gets COVID-19, and now you got to see how he comes back from it. He's not going to participate in rookie minicamps. So I'm just curious to see how the Lions kick off this season and how they move forward. So it's going to be great to see. Follow along with Detroit Sports Podcast and SI All Lions, and especially the Wanna Bet podcast, because once the NFL rolls around, Phil's thumbs are going to be worn off because he's going to be betting all the odds, betting the money line, betting the Thursday night game, betting.
Oh my God!
The NFL is.
We ain't even talked about fantasy football yet, dude.
And we haven't even talked about fantasy football, the action that you can put down on the daily stuff. Oh man, it'll be good. And that's why I love this podcast, just talking a little bit of sports and talking gambling. All right, last couple minutes left. You gave us a little bit of your early thoughts on the plays on Friday. have you had a look at a play or two that you say, okay, this could put some money in the pockets of the supporters of Wanna Bet?
I want to take a look at why the Clippers are only -10 against the Houston Rockets. Something's got to go on. Kawhi or Paul George have to be sitting because that line, to be honest with you, is way too low. So I want to take a look at that and see, because that line should be at least 14 or 15 points right now, and I'm being like serious. I'm going to take a look and see why that's down, but. The fact that Golden State's -2 is another one that I want to look at. Both those games happened tonight, Friday night. So the Pelicans have been in a rough shape ever since Zion went down. So I want to see why these lines are as close as they are, just given like the situation. I mean, Golden State's still trying to like scrap to get out of that. They're in the 8th spot right now, and the Pelicans they're right outside. They're out of the playoff playing game. So I don't know, man. Those two games, -10 is way too little for Houston. So I want to see what's going on with Kawhi and George. I would definitely take the Warriors -2 though at home against the Pelicans.
Warriors -2 at home against the Pelicans. Why do you feel that's good? Why do you feel that's strong? What's the biggest reason?
Like I said, because Zion's down and they've been on a slide a little bit. They were in that playoff. They were in the play-in tournament picture, but I believe they've lost 3 in a row. And like you said, Golden State needs to build some momentum going into this play-in tournament, especially if they want to get into the playoffs. So I would expect this is a night that I would expect Curry to go sort of ape shit, and because they need him. They're gonna need him to give them like that 5-6 3-point day where he scores 35. So
okay, I might take it. Warriors -2. I might put that down. I think I like it. I might do that and the Warriors money line to take it down. All right, so without Zion, you're not feeling the love with the Pelicans, and you feel like Warriors at home should perform and ball out, huh?
Yes,
the play.
sir.
That's the play. Okay, Phil's play of the week. Warriors -2 at home. Take a look at and explore for yourself what's going on with the Clippers. Might provide you some value there, seeing that they're potentially have an opportunity to blow them out. You say, huh? You say that you would be comfortable if the line was 11, 12, 13, even as high as 15. So you're gonna explore you're gonna explore it and take a look at it. So explore that. And Phil's play of the week: Warriors -2. Appreciate your time, Phil. Always a great time talking sports. It's a short half-hour window, but it's a fun opportunity just to kind of take a look at gambling and where things are and try to put some money in people's pocket. So you got to take your own advice, bet a little bit less, build up that bankroll so that we can put some action down, have some fun when it comes down to the National Football League. Now, of course, last week I thought about it, because I'm an all-in kind of guy. I thought about pushing all in on Canelo Alvarez. It would have got like $40, $50 on top of the free bet that you offered me. But I was like, maybe it could be a draw, it could be some herky-jerky shit. But, I wasn't going to bet $350 on it just in case. But I feel like Canelo taking on a white boy was probably a safe play in that he's a legend, is a strong title holder. So I felt good in my non-betting win. But, yeah, that felt like Canelo at this point in his career is an easy bet.
Yeah.
Canelo's the man, dude. He's the man.
Yeah, and especially in that situation, dude.
Yeah, there was no chance. I should have did it. I should have maybe put half, but we'll see. Try to reduce the risk. Maybe not go all in so I can stay in the action. That's the thing. You got to be responsible, and we'll see how this progresses. Make sure you follow the network at Detroit Podcast on Twitter. Anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, make sure you type in Detroit Sports Podcast, and you can download our daily content when you're on a walk, enjoying the nice weather that we're getting in Michigan. Have a listen. We have a good time. Me and my boy Phil, we always enjoy talking it up and putting some action in the world of Detroit sports. Let's talk soon, Phil.
All right, John, be good, buddy.